Hey guys, Andy here from Mediocre Hobbies, bringing you another Astra Militarum video. You may notice I bring you a lot of Astra Militarum videos as they are my favorite force, and Games Workshop has just released an entire new range of miniatures for them, and I'm going to be painting one of them in today's video. That miniature is, of course, Ursula Creed, an absolutely fantastic new character addition to the range, and was very kindly sent to me by Games Workshop, so a big thank you for them. Before we get into the video, I just want to say a huge thank you to all of my active patrons. You guys are absolute heroes who keep this channel going, so thank you so much for that. If you are considering becoming a patron, just know you get some pretty big benefits, one being a private Discord server where you can chat to me and over 140 other people about your hobby on a day-to-day basis. And what I think is the new biggest reason is I give you guys an extra video every single week. So that means Patreon members get an extra 52 videos a year. So if you want to check that out, there's links below. All right, guys, let's get into the video. Okay, so here she is. I have obviously glued her to a temporary base to paint it because I'll be obviously working on her other base, her beautiful scenic base, and it'll be very difficult to paint that with her already stuck onto it. So that is a sub-assembly, her by herself, and then the base. The models were sprayed black and then given a coat of grey Seer spray as well. We jumped straight into painting Ursula Creed with some Creed Camo. Seems only fitting, really. And we're going to do all of the parts of the miniature that we want to be green. I say the things like we want because I'm not 100% following the example on the box. So for instance, the inner coat that she's wearing is indeed green. I'm going to be following that. However, her chest armor is obviously the motif on the front is gold, but all the rest of it is silver. I think she would like to proudly wear the colors of Creed, and therefore that armor would kind of match her fellow soldiers as he stands shoulder to shoulder with them in the trenches. So I'm going to do those in the same color green as I do for my Cadian Infantry, like this. You can choose to do it silver if you want to. I just prefer it, especially because she's wearing the green helmet. It seems only right that those two pieces of armor match each other. Agros Dunes was used for her lapel and collar. You can also see a small bit of her leg under her coat, which of course would be the same kind of tan color that the Cadian Infantry would have. So I'm going to be using the same color palette as I do on their kind of fatigues so that they match in together. So it's basically just her lapel and her collar and then inside of her leg and the inside of her jacket. So very, very quick coat of paint. There's something immensely enjoyable about slapping on the base coats of contrast so fast. Blood Angel's Red was used for her sash. She does seem to wear what looks like a commissarial sash to me. It goes around her waist and down her hip, which is very commissarial. Don't know why she wears it, but anyway, it gives a nice flash of color to the miniature, so I like it. After that, we're going to move over to the jacket, and we're going to go for Wyldwood, a nice dark, rich brown color, and get her entire grey coat. As you can see, her grey coat is torn at the back, so make sure that when you are doing that green armor, that you get in those gaps, and make sure you paint up those armor pieces showing with that as well. I'll make a slight mistake here. Well, not a mistake, I just changed my mind a little bit after. When I'm going through this stage, I do paint her boots in Wyldwood, thinking she would have brown boots. But then when I jumped over to Black Templar contrast for some other bits and pieces, I decided she would have black military boots. So I just quickly threw the Black Templar contrast over the brown boots. So don't worry about the brown boots here. Worry about the Black Templar boots. So the handle of her staff of office, whatever this thing is, her scepter. Why she has a scepter, I don't really know. But either way, it's Ursula Creed. She can do whatever she wants. I have actually already fielded Ursula Creed in a game, in a battle report, and in one round of shooting, she took a Demon Prince from full wounds to no wounds. She absolutely deleted it with her pair of pistols. I'll leave a link at the top of the screen here to that battle report if you guys want to check it out after this video. So with the black done, it's time to go over to Guilliman Flesh, and that's just going to be for her face and hands. Her face is mostly obscured by, like I said, her high collar and her military helmet. Although if you decide to go for the unhelmeted version, which seems to be the more common one, it'll be a little bit more predominant, and then you'll have to work on her hair, which I obviously don't go into detail with in this video because there is no hair on my one. But just get in there with your Guilliman Flesh and don't miss any bits. After this, it's time to move over and base coat in the gold metallic. So for that, I'm going to go to my trusty Retributor Armor Gold, my favorite gold ever. First of all, there is trim going around her jacket that is gold, so be very careful when applying this. You don't want to be hitting any of the aggro stones or the brown sections. We will be tidying them up later on, so if you do, not such a big deal. But if you can be neater, it will save a little bit of time later on. So those parts, and then obviously she's got her big chest emblem, her staff, rod, scepter of office has some gold trim on it, and of course the finger guard and pommel of her sword will also go gold. I will not be showing you guys exactly how to paint the base up on this video, just be following the same colors as I go along. So the silver I use is the same silver, gold I use the same gold, the red tassels is the same color I use for the sash, all the same colors. The only bit that's different is the kind of white marbly symbol on the base, and I will show you how I highlighted that up afterwards. Leadbelcher was used then for some of the other parts, so basically just the blade of the sword and the pistols in their holster are basically the only two things that go silver in this painting video. Sorry, she's a little out of focus. The camera does love to focus on my hand more than the miniature every single time. Now with her base, I wanted it to blend in a little bit more with the base itself and the rest of my army. So I'm going to throw some Stirland Battlemire onto the base, just so it blends in better. So it should be something like this. I obviously checked where her feet go so I don't cover those up, and then did this. After that, like I said, I just threw in pretty much all the same base coats that we did. So silver where silver goes, gold where gold was. I didn't paint the emblem on the top. That's actually just the grey Seer spray. I put some dark grey paint, Mechanica Standard, on the rocks, silver on the rebar, and that's it. Super quick, super easy, nothing crazy. With all those base coats applied to both the base and Ursula Creed herself, it's time to wash the model. So we're going to go for Seraphim Sepia, just like we do with all the Cadian Infantry we paint for this army, and get a nice coat on every single part of this miniature. That goes for the base as well, every single part except for the Stirland Battlemire. You don't want to be doing that. That'll also still be wet while we're applying this shade. So all the rebar, all the rock work, and obviously the banner and stuff like that, that'll all get a nice coat of Seraphim Sepia, so that both her and her base blend together. And as you can see, that emblem on the top did not get a lick of paint apart from the spray, so it's going to get washed, and then I will be layering that up later on. It is the only part of the layering the base I will show you. Everything else I'm fairly sure you can figure out for yourself. I do love what Sepia does to gold. I'm of the belief that it looks nicer than regular flesh shade on gold, but a lot of people disagree with me there. But never mind, after that shade is dry, it's time to start layering. So for the Cadian armor, we're going to go for Waaagh flesh. And we're going to take our time, be careful, and layer up all of those bits that went cream camo before. Cloth, her chest armor, her helmet. And once again, do not forget the rips in the back of her jacket that expose her flak armor. Make sure you get in and get those layered up as well. I think that's one of my favorite things about Ursula Creed is she's not too pompous. You can tell that she is a soldier who stands with her compatriots shoulder to shoulder, fights alongside with them. After that, we're going to jump off the Rhinox Hide and layer up that awesome greatcoat. Now I know Rhinox Hide is quite a dark color, but the jacket itself is meant to be a really dark, rich leather. And I don't want to go anything crazy. I don't want to brighten it up and take away from the rest of the miniature. I don't think the jacket is supposed to be a focal part. Therefore, I don't want to paint it to be a focal part. I don't want to draw anyone's attention away. Plus, like I said, if she likes standing shoulder to shoulder with her soldiers, she doesn't want a big, giant, crazy, colourful coat that's going to get her picked out and shot. Not to mention her blinged out rod already probably does that. As you can see, it's quite a subtle highlight, but quite nice. We also highlighted her pistol holsters with that as well. Karak Stone is then used to paint in the lapel. Like I said, you'll remember which bits you did Agros Dunes. Inside of her jacket. Some of her trousers if you can get at them. And obviously the collar and lapel. I've said lapel about 400 times in this video. Anyway. Starting to look well. Mephiston Red was then used to layer up her commissarial sash. Very quick line highlight, not trying to go crazy. Just trying to add a little bit of extra color to it. Like I said, the red does really add something to the model. I really like it. Ironbreaker is then used to highlight all the metallics on this model. I'm going to bring it in close and just show you the way that I highlight the gold with the silver. As you can see, it's just like a few little dots, highlights on corners, on some sharp edges. Nothing crazy. It's super quick. Like I'll layer up all the silver and gold in this model in less than a minute. Which is a super helpful way to go about doing it if you need to paint up an army's worth of miniatures. Quick kind of a dry brush on the hilt there. Because we could, it wasn't near anything else. And then nice clean coat across the blade. Don't think her energy sword, her power sword is going to be in any sort of disrepair. It's going to be gleaming and beautiful at the end of every fight. This is the base all done up after the wash and layer. And like I said, I'm going to show you the Ulthuan Grey stage, which I did as just a single layer highlight on the emblem on the top. One quick coat. Don't want to go anywhere that the contrasted shade went, because that would obviously obscure the detail or the shadows. Super quick step, but it really makes the banner pop. I really do like her base. I do like this new thing they do with like characters getting some seriously nice bases, making them stand out on the battlefield. Having said that, I'm not crazy on the new Lord Solar's base standing on the Titan head, and I will be doing something funky to make it a little bit different and match in with my army more in the future. So look out for that video, because I think it's going to be pretty cool. Bit of Cadian flesh for the skin. Quick highlight, cheeks, tips, nose, lips, chin, nothing crazy. I then wanted her greatcoat to look a little bit dusty to match in with the base. So the last dry brush I did on the base, which was Terminatus Stone, I just did that a little bit lightly across her boots and across her greatcoat. As you can see, it's really light, but just so this pristine model isn't standing on top of this war-torn base, and it just doesn't match all that well. Just in a quick step, as I dry fit her onto the model, that's when I felt that I was like, okay, she needs a little something on her coat. And with that, we have one finished Ursula Creed mounted to her beautiful scenic base and ready to hit the tabletop. I absolutely loved painting this miniature up, and I hope you guys managed to get your hands on her and enjoy it just as much as I did. And there we have it, Lord Castellan Ursula Creed, painted up, ready to lead her army into battle. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to give it a like. If you have not already subscribed, it would mean the world to me if you did take 2 seconds out of your day and hit that subscribe button. Check out links to things like my Patreon below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.